The United States dream didn't die at this World Cup, it was overturned. That's how the night played out Monday in Seattle, where Fuller and Balogun walked a long, solitary path off the field after the U.S. men's national team fell 4-1 to Belgium. Balogun carried his pink cleats in his left hand, taking 2 full minutes to cross from the center circle to the tunnel. He paused every few steps to clap toward the thinning crowd at Seattle Stadium, caught between sorrow and gratitude. The feeling of disappointment is very difficult to put into words, I think, for me, he said afterward. I know it hasn't ended the way we wanted it to, but I think you guys have all seen in the process we've definitely united a nation. It was a stark contrast to 3 weeks earlier, when Balogun scored twice in a 4-1 win over Paraguay in his tournament debut, a performance he called a real dream. Born in Brooklyn and raised in London, Balogun instantly became a lightning rod for one of America's most contentious issues, birthright citizenship, which President Trump has sought to restrict. Yet when Balogun shined in a U.S. jersey, there was no hesitation in claiming him as one of the team's own. Then, 5 days before the Belgium match, Balogun received a red card and an automatic suspension during a win over Bosnia and Herzegovina, a harsh penalty for an incidental boot to an opponent's ankle that reeked of video-assisted overreach. President Trump responded by phoning FIFA President Gianni Infantino directly. By Sunday, FIFA's disciplinary committee had made the suspension vanish, something that hadn't happened during a World Cup in 64 years. Technically, it wasn't called an overturn, since that would have meant admitting an error. Instead, the suspension was put on suspension, through a clause buried in the organization's disciplinary code. FIFA's initial announcement was so skeletal that it was clear the organization was hiding something. On match day, Trump stood before reporters at the White House to address the decision. But on the field, none of that intervention translated into results. A seasoned Belgium side, still stocked with holdovers from its golden generation, dominated the Americans from start to finish, reducing them to listlessness in a 4-1 defeat. It left the U.S. team, and its fans, to wonder whether Trump's involvement in Balogun's case had cost the team more than it had given. For now, the promising start to this home World Cup has ended in the same lopsided scoreline it began with, only this time the U.S. is on the wrong side of it, and Balogun's walk to the tunnel said more than any statistic could.